This is Dolany TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, and welcome back to a Saturday edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel. This time on October 24th, on a Saturday, we'd normally be getting down to business, talking all about tonight's Edmonton Oilers game. And, well, I am sorry to disappoint. I got absolutely nothing to talk about tonight's game about because we got absolutely no game to talk about. So, with that said, let's continue to talk about changing and improving this Edmonton Oilers roster. And it seems if you kind of followed every single video I've done in the past 2 weeks, I've been avoiding one certain topic, and it might be a topic of frustration for a guy named Leon Draisaitl when it comes to the Oilers trying to improve. Is we've got all these priorities, right? If you move this guy, you should sign this guy. You can do this, you can do that, you can do this. Well, end of the day, I'm going to pretense everything I'm about to say within this video with you have to sign Ethan Bear. That is the priority no matter what. You have to sign him. But there is, with the right move, room to do more than just that, right? Ethan Bear probably in between $900K to $1.25 million, somewhere. That's probably a safe bet to talk about his next salary cap hit. So, in that, if you trade a guy like Jujhar Khaira, or you trade a guy, I don't know, like Alex Chiasson, the two guys we continue to perpetually talk about in trades to free up cap space, and or like you trade Jujhar and you leave somebody in Europe, or you straight up trade Chiasson, you can get away with signing a guy more than likely based on what's going on the market here. And I'm going to float some rumors, or not rumors, I'm going to make up a rumor here because this is seeming to be the way it's setting up to be. But guys, if you're new to the channel, what I need to do right now, hit that subscribe button, join the following, because I'm going to tell you, when we do get back to Saturday Night Hockey, we won't be talking this craziness. We'll be talking hockey every single day. So, Dominik Kahun, I'm not going to avoid it any longer. I'm going to put my ad for myself there. And Dominik Kahun, the elephant in the room when it comes to the Oilers offseason as it currently stands, played those 6 games in Buffalo, had 4 games, or 4 points in those 6 games. And you go all the way back to his early days in Germany with the Mannheim team, which he played with Leon Draisaitl. The dude had 206 points. 206 points in 30 games, and then topped it all off with 31 points in 5 games in the playoffs in U16 hockey way back when. So the guy was a monster in German hockey. Leon Draisaitl, I think his numbers were pretty close to that as well. And then you get into his older years, U18, he had 57 points in 36 games, and then came over and played with the Sudbury Wolves, came down to earth a little bit, 40 points in 58 games that season, went to the World Juniors that year. Man, that was a busy year, 2012-13 for Dominik Kahun, and I'm going to see, I can't even get this all on a sheet for you, so I'm just going to try and get everything going. Here we go. I should be able to get Sudbury. I'm going to cut everything off, so let's go to the Dell League and get all this information you need from Dominik Kahun, because as of 14-15, so yeah, way back when Leon Draisaitl was stepped in the league, let's get those stats out of Dominik Kahun, because these are absolutely stupid stats, but so are Leon Draisaitl's in Germany prior to coming across to play for the WHL. So let me get this for you, shall we? We are talking all things Dominik Kahun, so let's get to it. There it is. There it is. All right, this is a massive file here. Let me spread that down a little bit. I bet you that isn't even visible. Not really. Can you read that? I can't read that. I'm going to be honest with you. So here we go. This is Dominik Kahun's stats from 14-15 all the way to the current years in the NHL with EHC München. I don't know how to, again, sorry. German, Swedish, Finnish, Swiss, everything just confuses me, and I'm terrible with it. I'm awful, so my apologies. But you see here, he's had a couple of great back-to-back years over there in Germany, 34 points in 42 games in 15-16, then 30 points in 40 games in 16-17, and then again 41 points, point per game in 17-18, then signs an entry-level deal with the Chicago Blackhawks, 37 points in 82 games, 13 goals, 24 assists, and then goes on to the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Ole Mata trade that set up the Ole Mata situation in the Oilers playoffs this year. 27 points in 50 games for the Penguins, and then, like I said, 4 points for the Sabres in 6 games. So that is what you need to know about Dominik Kahun, who is now an unqualified UFA after not signing with the Buffalo Sabres, and 25 years old, and a buddy of Leon Draisaitl's. Let me tell you, that's what we have had reported a million times over. And what you need to know, the big key here when it comes to Dominik Kahun is the fact that he has the versatility to be a left winger, right winger, center. According to Cap Friendly, the guy can do it pretty much all. I'll go to Hockey Reference and just get you a little bit better scale on him, and then we'll kind of talk about the fit here when it comes to Dominik Kahun, because there's not much you need to figure out when it comes to the fit, right? So the guy plays anywhere between 12 to 14 minutes per game. That seems to be his average range. Not a big time hitter by any means. Pretty soft on the body. Giveaways, takeaways, always been a lot better at the takeaways than the giveaways. And then you go over and you see his shooting percentage stats. Pretty good throughout his career. He only had 8 shots in those 6 games with Buffalo, but had a 25% shooting percentage. But most of the years, like with Pittsburgh, 12.7, and in his rookie campaign with Chicago, 9.5 shooting percentage. So those are shots you can work with. And his face-off percentage, like, he can take a couple of face-offs. He takes about anywhere between 60 to 70 face-offs a year, about is where he seems to get into. So as a winger, he is capable of taking face-offs. So if you're talking about adding a left winger that you want into the lineup, Dominik Kahun is the guy. And especially knowing what he's done in the past with our very own superstar Leon Draisaitl, well, you know what? Maybe there you go. You find your solution for Connor McDavid's wing. You go slot up Ryan Nugent-Hopkins up there on the top line, and suddenly you've got it. Now then becomes the question, do you slot Jesse Puljujarvi up there and really load up, and then go Kahun, Draisaitl, and Yamamoto on the third line, or second line, Ennis, Turris, Kazian on the third line? Ooh, that sounds like production. And then your fourth line, whatever you want it to be, it can be that night. Yeah, suddenly there's a little bit of versatility to the lineup when you add in Dominik Kahun, right? Obviously, if we're talking no Dominik Kahun, I have my lines pretty much set. Nuges with Draisaitl, and you have Puljujarvi on the third line, and you have Nygaard up there with Kazian, with McDavid, and blah, 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 blah. But Dominik Kahun, yeah, that's an intriguing name. But let's once again review the steps as to how you would go about getting Dominik Kahun for around the $1 million mark. You go A, you sign Ethan Bear. B, free up cap space. I guess that's 1A, 1B. You know what? 1A, 1B. 1A, 1B, Bear and cap space. C, hope you have Dominik Kahun still available in the free agency market. But there's got to be some kind of plan here happening when it comes to Dominik Kahun and the Oilers, because you'd think a guy that just put up a total of 31 points in 51 or 56 games this year. 31 divided by 56. Come on, you got to go out there and get something. Yeah, 45-point player over an 82-game season this past year. You got to figure he is worth something to someone. And you've looked at all these 700K deals, these 875 deals, these 900K deals, and suddenly you still, as of October 24th, don't see Dominik Kahun signed to any team. I haven't seen any major rumors of him landing anywhere other than the fluff about him and Mr. Draisaitl not being happy that he hasn't landed with the Oilers quite yet. I don't think that's all true, because I think there's something more to it when it comes to Dominik Kahun and the Oilers trying to get him into the lineup. That's the end of the day, right? As you see guys on Why isn't my team looking at Dominik Kahun? Why isn't my team looking at Dominik Kahun? Dominik Kahun time. Dominik Kahun time. Today would be a great day to bring back Dominik Kahun. It's all about, like, obviously fans want him for their team, but why hasn't he signed with any team that wants him? Eh? Because I think there's something going on here. Obviously, if you're Leon Draisaitl, right, you're going to have a good chunk of Ken Holland's ear. Same as Connor McDavid has with any GM he plays for. Now Draisaitl, Hart Trophy winner, Art Ross Trophy winner, Ted Lindsay Trophy winner. You got to imagine that Leon Draisaitl has just as much say as Connor McDavid does as to who joins the team. And if you know as Leon Draisaitl that the best solution for the team is to have Nuge with McDavid, you play with Yamamoto and find yourself a winger you'll be productive with, why wouldn't you force Ken Holland's hand to go get you a winger you know you're productive with way back when, like a guy you can get along with no problem, a guy you've grown up playing hockey with, and well, get the job done, right? And Dominik Kahun, I'm not saying would solve the Oilers' offensive problems, but very likely could be a solution to that second line and allow the Edmonton Oilers to set up that legit first line that everybody continues to cry for Connor McDavid. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tyson. This is Stolany TV. One more time, let's review the steps. Ethan Barron cap space is number 1. That is the only way you get even talking about Dominik Kahun. Number 2, you need him to sign for $1 million. Number 3, Nuge with McDavid, Kahun with Draisaitl and Yamamoto. Bing, bang, boom. 3 scoring lines and away you go. All right, I'm Tyson. Stolany TV. I will catch you later on tonight or tomorrow, depending on what happens. I am up on out of here.